Hello, in this video we are going to go over the basics of BloodHound. As you can see right now, I'm already logged in into BloodHound, and I have this crazy graph over here. And in this graph, I believe I forgot which one was the one that I pulled. Let's see. So let's go ahead and go with the basics. So the first is, the first tab that you can see is the database information. From here, you can see the database stats, where you are connected, what's the database user that you're using, the relationships that he found, the ACLs that he has stored. You can see that the on-prem objects that it has. He has 56 groups, 2 computers. Should have users. Somehow it doesn't have users, a group policy or anything like that. Do not know why, but you can see that we have users in here. One other thing, we can go over the icons. So in here, this first icon, it is, if you click on it, you can see that this one is the administrator. So whenever you have this icon that has like three users in there, 3 or more users in there, that's going to be a group. Whenever you see a computer, that's going to be a computer or a server, right? Here's another group over here. Let's go ahead and see what the users look like. So here are the users in here, and those lines mean a lot. So the lines tells you what is the relationship between this object in here, and this object is a user, against this other object, which is a group. You can see that this guy has generic right to this group, and then this group is a member of the domain admins, which we're going to exploit in a little bit. You can see that this user over here, and it tells you what the relationship between this object and this other object, which is a member of. So this guy is a member of the hidden group, and then the group is a member of the domain admins, which means that this user right here, since it is a member of the hidden group, is also a member of the domain admins, right? And we have another IPsec we have over here, which is also part of the domain admins. And if we want to select, let's go ahead and select the domain admins. And if you go to the node info, so whenever you select any object in here, and if you go to the node information, that's going to tell you all the information on that object or group or computer, right? And this one will tells you the the object ID, the SID, the SID, the description, the account, the admin count. It would give you the distinguished name, so it would give you a lot of good information. The domain, the name of it. It would tell you how many direct members that it has. So if you click on it, right, that will give you another graph. So if you want to see the direct members, you can see that we have 5. And sometimes it doesn't tell you what is the relationship. So this line over here is the relationship, but you can hover over, and that will tell you what it is. It's the member of the domain admins. This other object over here is a member of the domain admin, and this other guy or this group over here is also a member of the domain admin. So that's why we have 3 direct members. Now if we click on 5 on the on-roll members, this will show the on-rolled members, which we have 5. And why do we have 5? Well, that's because we have basically 3 direct members. Direct members being that they are a member of the domain admins, but they are in the domain admin member of. But on a roll members, this means is that we have, because since this group is, so let's go back. So direct members are 1, 2, and 3. But since this guy over here is a group and it's a part of the domain admins, you know that the groups can hold more members. So since this group has 2 other members in here, then that's why we have 5 on a roll members, which means we have this object over here, which is a user, this other user, then we have this group, right? So we have 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 and 5 on a roll members, and 3 direct members, right? Got it? Okay. And then you can see all the information in here. If it has first degree local admin, group delegated local admin rights, you can see all the first degree object, the outbound control rights. Outbound control rights means all the rights that this group has access to. Okay. And the inbound control rights means that all the rights, the rights that other objects have against that domain. So outbound meaning all the access or the control rights that the domain admin has, and inbound meaning the rights that other objects have against the domain admins. And let's go ahead and see those explicit object controllers. And this one will give you another cool graph. So in here you can see that it has two explicit controllers, which is the administrator and also the enterprise admins. And you can see that it has right, generic right, right owner, and right DACLA. So this means that the administrator has all these rights against the domain admin and also the enterprise admins. Then we have the owner role objects in here, which are really useful. A lot of really good information in here. You can see, and then we have transitive object controllers. So it has 8. So you can see the object controllers will tell you who are a member. The transitive object controllers will tell you who is a part of the domain admins and also who has access to the domain admin to do something. As you can see, we have this guy over here has right access to the hidden, and therefore also will have access to the domain admin because this guy is part of the group admin. So therefore, if you are able to edit the hidden groups in here, you're going to be able to get onto the domain admins because this group is also a domain admin. And if any other members in here are part of this hidden group, then it's going to have domain admin access in here. Okay, so that's some really, really good information that you can find. Also, if you go to the analysis, if you want to find all the domain admins, it's going to find it for you. There we go, all the domain admins. It could also tell you you can find the shortest path to the domain admins. And it will tell you how you can get domain admin access. As you can see right now, since this guy is a member of the hidden, he's going to be able to get domain admin access. You can see that there's a couple of default policies, right? And this default policy, the Jenkins admin and the administrator contain those policies, and we have a GP link, and another group policy link, and you can see what the group policy are. So that means is that they contain those group policies in here. What else we have? You can take a look at user foreign domain group membership. I don't think we don't have any. Let's see what else we can find in here. We can find the shortest path to high value targets. We have that. There we go. That's a crazy graph to read, but you can, with time and just by looking at this every day and by creating different labs and different scenarios, you get really good at really know this graphs, even though it's really crazy. But you will get the picture once you use BloodHound multiple times a week. You will get really good in a month on how to use BloodHound. And also, one of my favorite things to do is you can find a path, right? So let's say that my user right now, my current user, if you do clear, who am I? I am student 1. So what I want to do is I want to find a path from student 1. So you're going to type over here student 1 to domain admins. Let's see how I can get domain admins. You can run it, and over here it will tell you how you can go from student 1 to basically domain admin. So what this is telling you in here is that student 1 has generic right to the hidden group, and the hidden group is a member of the domain admins. So therefore, since we have generic right to this hidden group, we are going to be able to add ourselves to the hidden group, and then since we are since the hidden group is part of the domain admins, then we're also going to be part of the domain admin. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and open. So that is a path that we can take, basically. That we just found a path to get domain admin, and now we are going to execute that path. Before we do that, I want to go back in here. We're going to do a PowerShell bypass. Clear this bad boy. Import module. First, what I want to do is I want to import Power View to verify that we actually have that we have right access. Let's see what did it say? Generic right access to the hidden file, to the hidden group. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. What you want to do is get object ACL, and I want to specify. So I want to see the get objects for the same account name, and the account name is going to be hidden. That's what it's called. So this is going to get me all the basically all the information, so all the ACLs. But what I'm more interested is an SCL which has Active Directory rights of generic right. So what I want to do is I'm going to run this command over here. Let's go ahead and clear this bad boy, because this one gives me all of it, but I don't want to see all of it. So what I want to see is the directory rights that match generic right, and let's see who has that for this hidden group over here. And I forgot to add this curly bracket at the end, and there we go. So now what we did was I want to get the object for the group called hidden, right? But I want to match the Active Directory rights to match that say generic right. You can see this one says generic right, and who has access to it? Well, the security identifier tells you who's the one that has access to generic right. Okay, so since BloodHound is telling me that it's me, let's go ahead and select my accounts or student one down here, and let's go ahead and go into the object ID, and you can see it 1603. So that is correct. I do have generic right access. What can I do with generic right access? Well, what I could do is I can add any user that I want. Well, and how do I do that? Well, I did that on a previous video, but now I'm going to show you again. What we want to do is first I'm going to show you that I'm not part of the that group. So we go to domain, usernet domain, and you can see in here that the student one username is not part of the hidden group or the domain admin group. Okay, now let's go ahead and exploit this. So the way that you can do that is by doing an add domain group member, right? Because we do have that generic right, and generic right will let you add any user to the hidden group, and the hidden group has basically is part of the, or is a member. This group is a member of another group, which is a domain admin, which is where we want to get. So add domain member group identity, and it's going to be hidden. I think that's, did I spell it right? Just making sure. Yep, with 2 D's, right? Hidden, making sure that. All right, then who do I want to add? Members. I just want to add student 1, which is myself. All right, then you can specify the domain. Pen testing. And there we go. Done. No errors. Okay, let's go ahead and verify that I'm now part of the hidden group. And domain users RDP. So that looks like it did not. work. So add domain group member identity, right? Hidden members student. Oh, student one. Duh. I specified the wrong user. Student one. Cool. So now let's go ahead and do a get domain group name hidden. Okay, so now let's see if since we added student instead of student one, I'm wondering if I don't think that user is in here. Student one, there it is. So now let's go ahead and do net user. Now you can see that I'm part of the hidden group, and the hidden group, as you can see over here on top, the hidden group is part of the right here, member of, as part of the domain admins. So therefore, the student one is part of the hidden group, and the hidden group is part of the domain admin. Therefore, the student one is part of the domain admin as well. Okay, so we exploited that. So now what you could do, what can you do? Well, you can go ahead and remote in into the AD, which is ns lookup ad.pentesting.local. Let's see if DNS works. Yep, there we go. Let's go ahead and go to that IP address. Student one password for student one. And there we go. Awesome sauce. I was able to log in to the AD, and now what can I do from the AD? Well, I can go ahead and start running Mimikatz and get all the passwords for all the users, but we're gonna save that for another video where we go over how to use Mimikatz and all that cool stuff. So that's how you're able, you know, to read the BloodHound graphs and all that cool stuff that we have in here, and how you're able to find a path from student one to, you know, domain admins, which we had access to. We had generic right access to this group, and this group was a member of domain admins. So therefore, this is basically domain admins, basically, right? So this is it for this video, guys.